You are Adam Jensen, fatally wounded and augmented against your will. Your search for the truth changes the world forever.
Now, director's cut is a term that's being thrown around loosely at certain times. And we're here with Emile to talk about Deus Ex Human Revolution director's cut. But it's really something that this is a true director's cut. What sort of goes into that term that made you want to dub this game the director's cut?
Right. So I mean, you can compare it to a Game of the Year edition. Let's say we're going back into the game, but for us, we had this opportunity to go back and change and fix some stuff based on the feedback that we received from our fan and the community. But at the same time, we said, hey, we have this opportunity. Let's push the limit. Let's go forward. So let's bring new feature, new stuff, improve a lot, change some stuff. So it's farther than just a Game of the Year edition where you just release it as a Platinum edition or something. And at the same time, I guess because one of the original idea was to have the developers or the directors of the original Human Revolution sit down and do a commentary playthrough. So just like when you're watching a movie and you have the directors commentating over the movie, well, we have a feature that's the same thing in the game.
How's that work out in practice? Do you have you recorded like 15 hours of
Yeah, exactly. So we had actually about 12 of the original and top directors or leads of Human Revolution sit down, do a complete playthrough, and when they had an idea or something to talk about, they would record at this point. So when you play the game, at those specific point, you're going to see a prompt if you turn the option on, obviously. And if you choose to play it, well, while playing the game, you'll have different directors or lead or developers in Human Revolution talking about a feature or a story behind the scene or something about that.
That's certainly incentive for those who've already played through it to play it again, right? Because I suppose there's going to be a lot of secrets revealed and a lot of fun little stories there.
There is actually. We have over 8 hours worth of those commentary throughout the whole game, and even myself as a lead game designer, sometimes I hear a commentary that slipped through my mind or something, and I learned some new stuff about the universe of Deus Ex. Is so huge, and there's a lot of stuff like before were different, so it's really interesting to hear about those things.
I mean, it's really years of your lives condensed into sort of an 8 hour. That you have a lot to talk about, right?
Right, we have a lot to talk about. It's really interesting.
Right. So obviously the game was first announced on Wii U. You've since added platforms. What does the second screen add to the experience, in your opinion?
Well, the second screen is part of the main reason we started developing Director's Cut in the first time. So what happened is when Human Revolution got out, we saw the success it had, but we also had feedback from the fans and everyone who played it about certain thing that didn't go as planned or didn't, hit really well. And at the same time, we saw the Wii U behind closed door, and with the second screen, we could really picture some feature working in symbiosis with it, working well with it, like the hacking and stuff like that by touch or using the dual screen. It was really a strong part of the core concept of being augmented and stuff like that. So that's where the whole idea came through, doing the Director's Cut and using the Wii U to do it. And when fans saw it, well, they requested to have the Director's Cut as well on the PS3, Xbox, PC, and Mac. So we had to push the boundaries again further to develop a dual screen experience on the current gen console.
So, I suppose it also helps immersion, because rather than getting the hacking up on the screen, which sort of breaks the immersion a little bit, you got it down here and you have to look up at the screen. It's a difference, but in a strange way, by bringing it outside of the game, you add immersion, right?
Exactly. Actually, immersion was one of the top points that we were focusing on that. For example, you have all those previous in-game menu, your inventory, your augmentation, skill 3, that were clustering your screen and pausing the game in a way. So just by bringing it on a second screen, even though the game is paused, just the fact that you still see where you are and you can go back quickly inside the game. You don't have to wait for the window to close and say, okay, where am I? What was I doing? And the same thing goes for hacking. Hacking, actually, we had the original idea in Human Revolution that you need to look around you when hacking, make sure you don't get spot. But since you're so concentrated on doing your hacking and so focused, player were not using that, and we kind of dropped the idea a little bit. It was easy to just hack without the AI never spotting you. So having this dual screen experience, you can really now use your main screen, look around, and do your hacking in the second screen and go back up and forth. And we really dig back and change some plays, especially for the new boss fight now. You don't want to get caught hacking while the boss is roaming behind you, so it's really useful now.
The bosses were sort of a little bit of a sore subject.
So I've heard. Actually, overall in Human Revolution, the Director's Cut, we took a list of all the feedback we received, and out of the 11 strongest point, we resolved 10 of them. The last one being game length, and we couldn't add,
do another game as well.
Kind of, yeah. But we still kind of answered this by adding the new game plus, which allows you to go back into the game and continue with your same Adam Jensen status, and with the DLC being integrated inside the narrative line of the game. But to go back to the boss fight, that was our first point, and we really put a lot of effort into it. And so looking at the boss fight, we said, okay, we need to start from the ground up, guys. Let's build the boss fight as the whole Human Revolution experience. So multi-padding, multi-choice, multi-solution. So it's the same boss. They still have to die for the story to make sense. But other than that, we have new level layout. We've enlarged the space so you can play cat and mouse. We've added secret areas that reward pathfinding player. We have new level, new floors. And we've added tons of new ways to deal with them. So you can have stealth challenges, hacking challenges. So if you're a stealth and hacking player now, you'll have your chance and you have your own way to deal with the boss. So you can actually kill them now without firing a single bullet. So say I'm a hacking player against Barrett, I just play stealth, make sure I'm not detected. I'll have some hacking challenge, make sure I don't get caught by Barrett meanwhile. And at the end, I can actually activate some turrets, drop them in front of him, and let it do the work for me.
So I think this is a common thing with a lot of this sort of genre of stealth games, that the boss fights tend to get a little bit overlooked sometimes and not feel part of the experience. But is that sort of what you wanted to go back, sort of, that feels more like a cohesive part of the experience?
Well, the thing with the boss fight, we knew before releasing Human Revolution it was not as polished as it could have been. But sometime in game developing, you have a time limit and restriction like that. So we just said we were at a point where we said it's not bad. Let's go with it. And obviously the reaction was worse than we thought.
Maybe it's even worse when the rest of the game is so stellar that...
Yeah, that was the main problem. I mean, combat player didn't, focus on that as much as a stealth player or hacking player, and none of your augmentation just help you against the boss fight. So it's not that it was overlooked. It was something that sadly you couldn't make it as much as we would like it to be in Human Revolution. But having this opportunity to go back in Director's Cut, I'm really confident. We've made some amazing boss fight, and the more you go through the game, the more augmentation and combo you can do with them. So Fedorova is really awesome, and when you get to Nemir, it's amazing all the possibility that you have in the game and all the way you can deal with them. It's really, really awesome.
So I guess the team is sort of splintered off now. Was it like a little bit of a core team for Deus Ex Human Revolution that stayed on to do this, or how's the layout of the studio?
So for Director's Cut, what happened was a cooperation, with us and a studio in Australia, Straight Right Studio. So they're the studio who made Mass Effect 3 on Wii U. So they had this experience with Wii U, so we used them to help us cooperate and doing the Director's Cut. So yeah, we had the core team. We had still the leads and director giving like, okay, here's the direction we're gonna take, here's the approach, what we're gonna do. Then we had all the feedbacks from the fan and the community. We made this game for them based on their their point, their arguments. So just working with the two of us together, we created this baby.
Right. And when is the delivery date?
Well, we don't have anything still official. It's going to be soon this year, but expect a Director's Cut for the Wii U and for PS3, Xbox, PC, and Mac, along with all the dual screen experience. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's the ultimate Deus Ex Human Revolution experience.